Good morning, boys and girls. Today, we are going to talk about the sense of smell.
Speaking of smell, what's that smell?
I don't smell anything.
It's coming from outside of your laundry basket.
Oh, that? Oh, I'll get to that next month.
P.U., that's awful. It smells awful.
Oh, really? I guess I need to do my laundry then. So actually, we have a T-chart right here of pleasant and unpleasant odors. I guess we can put dirty laundry on there, since that's an unpleasant odor.
Yes, but let's go over our vocabulary words first.
Right. So let's go over our nose and mouth diagram. So this right here is the nose. And there are two, and right here, there are our nostrils, which are the names of the two openings in the nose. And that is our nostrils. So the nostrils are what smells and scents go into when you breathe. Speaking of scents, a scent is a smell or an odor.
And when the scent travels up the nostrils or our smell receptors, small parts deep inside the nose that catch scents or smell from the air.
So while we're up here in the nose, there's some other stuff there that we actually... Achoo!
You need a tissue to wipe away all that mucus? Oh, Jeff. Mucus is the slimy liquid substance secreted inside the nose. Also, when you sneeze, you definitely sneeze out some molecules.
And molecules are tiny particles or pieces of things that are so small they cannot be seen with your eyes.
Thank you for all the vocabulary words. Now let's move on to our story.
Okay, when I read, make sure that you pay special attention to how your noses can tell when there is something to smell. Everybody take a deep breath. Every time you inhale or breathe in, a lot more than air goes up your nose. Along with air, thousands of tiny little molecules, small pieces of things too small to see, enter your nose each time you breathe. They're called odor molecules, and together they make up what we call scents. When the man in this picture inhales, the odor molecules travel up his nose, and then he smells the scent of coffee. Molecules are microscopic, so small that you can't see them without a microscope. But they are floating around in the air all of the time. There are millions of odor molecules in the air, especially hovering around everything that has a scent. The inside of your nose is like a big damp cave designed to catch and keep odor molecules. When you sniff a flower, odor molecules rush in through your nostrils, the openings in your nose, and travel high up inside your nose until they reach smell receptors. The smell receptors tell your brain about the molecules you just sniffed, and your brain sends a message back to tell you that's a sweet-smelling flower. People can identify a huge number of different kinds of smells and odors, between 4,000 and 10,000. This is because we can tell the difference between that many different odor molecules. We're lucky to be able to smell so many odors, even though sometimes they smell bad. Some animals, like dogs, have an even better sense of smell than humans. How many of you have a dog at home? Dogs have 25 times more smell receptors than humans. Dogs have to sniff really hard to get the odor molecules all the way up their nose to meet their smell receptors. If you've ever seen a dog walking with its nose on the ground, you may even be able to hear it sniff. People sniff too, especially when they want to figure out where a smell is coming from or what a smell means. Can everybody inhale and sniff? If you had trouble sniffing just now, then maybe it is because your nose is stuffed up. When you have a stuffy nose, it means that your nostrils are full of mucus. You always have mucus in your nose and other parts of your head. But when you're sick with a cold or have allergies, your body makes even more mucus. Mucus is very important. It traps dirt that might be floating around in the air you breathe and keeps it from going further into your body. If you are sick, the extra mucus can stuff up your nose or cause it to run. When there is extra mucus in your nose, it is hard for odor molecules to travel high enough into your nose to reach the smell receptors. The odor molecules are blocked or stopped by the mucus. That means that when your nose is stuffed up with a cold, you can't smell as well as when you're healthy. And when that happens, it's time to grab a tissue and blow your nose. Your sense of smell can help protect you. For instance, if smoke molecules travel through your nostrils to your smell receptors, your brain will know there's a fire somewhere, and you will know that you need to get away from that fire. Even if you are not sure you smell smoke and you only think you do, it is better to leave the area you have and get an adult to check and see if there is a fire. Better safe than sorry. But your sense of smell doesn't only tell you about bad things or dangers. It can be a lot of fun to sniff because many things smell great. Have you ever smelled chocolate chip cookies baking in the oven or butter popcorn at a movie theater? Next time you're enjoying your favorite scent, try to remember that odor molecules are hitting your smell receptors and telling your brain, wow, that smells great.
Jeff, great job. So, what was the main idea of today's lesson, students?
If you said sense of smell, then you are correct.
Why do you have a hard time smelling odors when you have a cold?
Think about it. Something is blocking you from smelling the odors. What is it? What's blocking you from being able to smell the odors?
It's the mucus. That is what is blocking your smell receptors from smelling the odors.
Also, how can your sense of smell protect you from harm if you are in danger?
Well, if something is burning in the kitchen and you smell it, you can put it out before it turns into a fire. It can also tell you if your toast is burnt. If something is burnt, then it won't taste good. And how it's supposed to taste.
So let's finish the T chart. What are some pleasant smells and some not so pleasant smells?
Okay? First of all, I would like for each of the students to look around your house. And I want you to find 3 things that are pleasant smells. That means things that you smell really good. And then I want you to find 3 things that don't smell well, like Mr. Jaff's laundry over there. So we'll give you a few minutes and collect those things. So you need 3 things for pleasant smells and 3 things for unpleasant smells.
You know, in my house, I found cologne, candles, cookies, and flowers. These are all pleasant odors.
And in my house, I found some unpleasant odors. I found a baby's diaper, some dirty clothes, and even a skunk was outside of my window. So, boys and girls, right now we're going to do our pleasant and unpleasant odors on our T chart. Our first picture is the picture of a fire. Think about it for a minute. Is it a pleasant smell or an unpleasant smell?
I'd say that's an unpleasant smell because it smells like smoke.
Right. So we'll put that right here. Next, we have a picture of a little girl with some perfume. Do you think it's pleasant smell or unpleasant smell, boys and girls?
I'd say it's pleasant.
I do too.
Perfume smells good.
Next, we have a picture of some chocolate chip cookies. Baking in the oven, fresh out of the oven. Is it pleasant smell or unpleasant smell?
I'd say it's definitely a pleasant smell and a pleasant taste.
Yes, I would agree. Next, we have a picture of a dirty diaper. Is that a pleasant smell or an unpleasant smell?
It's definitely not pleasant.
I don't think so. And Dad's face says it all. It's not a pleasant smell. Our next picture is a picture of a little girl smelling flowers. Would that be a pleasant smell or unpleasant smell?
Flowers, I would definitely say flowers are a pleasant smell.
Awesome.
They smell great.
They really do. And our last picture is a picture of a skunk. Do you think it's a pleasant smell or unpleasant smell?
Oh, well, a skunk might not agree, but I think it's pretty unpleasant.
I do too. I kind of have a little story to tell you. Well, one time a skunk got into my grandmother's laundry basket and sprayed the clothes. So no matter how many times she washed and rewashed those clothes, the clothes smelled awful for weeks. So don't scare or make a skunk mad, because it'll smell P.U.
Whew. I'll definitely remember that. You know, I think we're forgetting one sense.
You mean taste?
Yes. And if it is the story I am thinking of, when we are listening to this story about taste, I want to encourage the students to think about the parts of the body that we use to taste things.
I actually have a story about taste right here. Look at the boy in this picture. He is happy because he's about to taste something yummy and sweet, and he knows it. But if it weren't for a few bumps on his tongue, he wouldn't be able to taste it at all. And since taste is the weakest of the 5 senses, it gets its help from another sense to help you enjoy the foods you eat. Can you guess which sense that would be? Listen to find out what other sense work with taste to help you enjoy the foods you eat. The first thing you do when you eat food is to open your mouth and take a bite. Then you start to chew it or grind it up with your teeth. The wet saliva or fluid inside your mouth melts or dissolves the chewed up food, so it's easy to swallow. As the melted food moves across your tongue, to go down your throat, it catches on to tiny little bumps on your tongue. Turn to a neighbor and look at each other's tongues. You'll see the bumps all over. Those tiny bumps contain taste buds, which come in all shapes and sizes, and are responsible for telling your brain whether something tastes good or bad. There are over 10,000 taste buds in your mouth. In certain spots on your tongue, you have special taste buds to detect 4 different types of tastes: sweet, salty, bitter, and sour. Fruits and desserts usually taste sweet because they contain sugar. Almost everyone likes sweet taste. Even babies smile when they taste a little sugar. Pretzels taste salty. A little salt can make foods more flavorful. Bitter or bitterness is something that you do not taste very often, especially when you are young. If something is bitter, like coffee, it usually has a sharp or unpleasant taste. Most people also agree that sour is not a pleasant taste. Lemons and pickles taste sour. What kind of face do you make when you taste something sour? If it's something really sour, like a raw lemon, most people pucker up. They suck in their lips like fish, squint their eyes, and wrinkle their noses. Most people, here's something else very important to remember about taste and taste buds. Just because something doesn't taste as good as your favorite food, that doesn't mean you shouldn't try it, especially if it's healthy for you. Taste buds can be trained to accept and even enjoy lots of different tastes. Some tastes can seem strange or unpleasant at first, but then your taste buds get used to them, and before you know it, you've learned to like those tastes. You have 5 senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Taste helps you enjoy your food. But did you know that smell helps you enjoy your food too? In fact, both your sense of taste and sense of smell work together to help you figure out what your food tastes like. If you sit down to eat a nice piece of fried chicken, as you bring it up to your mouth to eat, you start smelling it before you take a bite, and you keep smelling it as you chew. Your taste buds aren't actually that good at identifying chicken all by themselves. They can just tell that it's a little salty and it's not sweet, sour, or bitter. However, your nose sniffs in the fried chicken odor molecules and send the brain even more details about the taste of the oil and the meat and the juices. Next time you have to taste something you don't like this boy and his medicine, try holding your nose and see how well you can still taste it. Even though you are putting something in your mouth that travels across your taste buds, you probably won't be able to taste it as well as you would if you weren't pinching your nose. This is because you have closed your nostrils and blocked the odor molecules from reaching the smell receptors. Without the extra help from the sense of smell, you won't be able to taste things as well. Have you ever noticed that if you have a cold, your food doesn't taste as good as it usually does? This is because your nose is congested or filled with mucus. And so your sense of smell cannot help your sense of taste. In fact, if your nose is really stuffed up, you may not be able to taste anything at all.
So now that we heard that wonderful story, now I want the students to think for a minute if there is anything in their parents' fridge that tastes sour.
Well, Jeff, they could have said lemons or pickles, like the pickles in the jar Hey, where did they go, Jeff?
Oh, sorry. I had a snack when you were gone. Great. Now, I'd like them to remember the last time they went out to a restaurant or got takeout. Is there anything they ate that tasted sweet?
Maybe they had a brownie, a slushie, or milkshake, or even a piece of candy.
Now, students, let's name something salty you've had. Well, what's something you've just eaten that's salty?
You know, you did mention, Jeff, that buttery popcorn at the movie theater. Or the students could have said hot dogs, crackers, or even chips.
Wow, that sounds like some great snacks.
So one thing that I want to make sure they remember is, why can't you taste or smell when your nose is congested? Turn to a friend or a parent and tell them.
I'll give you a second.
We're thinking.
Now, if they said it is because mucus congested their nose and stops them from smelling, then they're correct.
Whoa, we've covered a lot today going over the sense of smell and taste.
Thank you for joining us today. All rights and credits from this lesson belong to Core Knowledge Language Arts. We would like to thank them for publicly sharing these materials.
Use what you learned today. Share some of your knowledge about the 5 senses with a friend or a family member. Until next time, bye.